Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to another Northgard video on this channel, and this will be another patch note review here on this channel. We're gonna be reviewing the balancing patch 7, which just released yesterday on Northgard. That's the July update, of course, for people that might watch that further in the future. And yeah, we're gonna go over the different changes here that the balancing patch has made to the game. Like you can imagine, a lot of balance changes right here. And keeping in mind that the last balance update were in March of this year, you can really see that Gyro is giving a lot into the balance of the games and how the players receive the game. And I think that's really cool. So let's jump straight in. I don't want to talk around too long because we have a massive update to go over. Like, I'm just gonna scroll here quickly through it. And we have a lot to go through, so let's start right in. I hope you will be enjoying the videos, and yeah, hope that there will be quite a few cool changes here to the game. Let's start with the text up here. Happy Tuesday, Vikings! Today we're releasing yet another massive balance patch that brings a plethora of changes to Northgard and each of the clans that inhabit these mysterious lands. With this update, we've made a number of changes and additions, heavily balancing the clans based off your wonderful feedback over the last few months, and fixed a multitude of issues that have been reported in the time since our last major update, what I said is not too long ago. You can find a whole list of what's been addressed down below, and we're gonna look down below and start with the clan balancing, which have been a lot of changes to the different clans, and start with the clan of the Scroll. At first, the recipe of the fish fillets has been changed. It now doesn't cost you 200 vegetables to increase the length of 1 month. Like, you can always increase the power and the duration of a meal. If you now want to increase the duration of fish fillets, you're going to pay fish. Also, the meal is not going to give you 25, 50, 50, blah, 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 blah. It's in general going to give you 25% more. So if you would have got 25 before, now get 50. 50, 57, you know where I'm getting at. So the meal is a little bit stronger, and you will pay more fish if you want to increase the length. But here we have a little explanation. Fishes were accumulating too much. We want you to use other meals than mentioned in Ratatouille and the meat stew, which are the meals which are used the most because they are received as one of the strongest meals. I think with the mining and forging bonus right here, you can really bank up quite a bit, man. Just imagine like a 100% forging bonus, like how quickly a rally can be done. Can be really interesting, and I feel for that it might actually be used a little bit oftener, because that is true. Fishes were accumulating too much and most of the people weren't really using them. So pretty cool to now have a meal where you can actually use them. Also, the prices of meals has been increased if you share them with other players, but mostly only for 2v2s. So if you have two clans, let's say you have 25 villagers, your teammate also have 25 villagers, you have 50 in total. That number times 6 means that you will pay 300 food for sharing the meal with your teammate. Basically the same rate like you would have in 3v3s. I think this is also okay. Like the Scroll in general, a little too strong, I would say, in some regards because of the meals. And in 2v2 you already have a lot of the benefits that you would have in a 3v3, so I feel like it's okay to say to pay a lot more here if you want to share it also with only one teammate. It's not going to be all too bad because the number of villagers is still way lower than in 3v3, so it will still be a lot easier to actually get the meals out than it would be in a 3v3, but you're only affecting 2 players, of course. So, clan's description. The special fame victory for the clan of the Scroll is removed and replaced with a new one. And yeah, we're gonna have that down below here. Don't want to go too deep in it because we're gonna have a little bit of text still explaining that. At 200 fame, the fame bonus, so-called, you get a helping hand. That will give you +5 fame per every player that is affected by the meal, and not only per meal. So yeah, will definitely give you quite a bit of fame alone for that, because you're gonna do a lot of meals, and especially in a 3v3, for every meal you will get 15 fame that you share with your teammates. I think this is worth quite a bit. At 500 fame, at the so-called Jarl bonus, you're gonna get the Plot of the Thrones. You gain fame based on your extra population compared to your most populous opponent. Arrival of new villagers increases by 5% every 100 fame. So basically a small recruitment there for the Squirrel clan. Seems pretty good in my opinion. Like everything that gives you a population back quicker is generally pretty good in situations where you have a very even matchup and you both lose armies pretty frequently and pretty evenly. And if you then repop a little bit quicker, that can really help you out. Multiply the amount of fame it gives you when you have extra population compared to your most populous opponent by 2. It's actually pretty crazy. So at fame 1500, no clan has that, so that's a new level. It's the most beautiful banquet, which you're gonna get there. Banquet? I think it's banquet. You will unlock a specific new recipe at the stove. It will cost you 1000 meat, 1000 fish, 1000 vegetables, and 1000 mushrooms. And it takes 3 months to prepare. While preparing this recipe, all other recipes are not available. So you cannot have a ratatouille going while you do that. Every clan is notified and invited at the Great Banquet. And when the preparation is complete, the game is won. So you will basically win by having a great feast at your home, inviting everyone to the meal. Everyone will get friends and say, hey, this meal was so good, Clan of the Squirrel, gonna give you the island, you won. And yeah, I think that's a pretty cool win condition right here. It doesn't seem all too strong, so not that it could be harassing that your opponent goes first, but it seems like a fun way to win the game right here, and maybe we'll definitely try it out. In a free-for-all game, it could definitely be an interesting go, and yeah, Squirrel Clan could get a little bit more dangerous around there. So, I think this means allowing or not fame victory have no more relations with special Squirrel win condition. So I think even if you turn off the fame victory, the Squirrel can still win with this win condition. I don't know if I like that all too much. I don't really turn it off because I'm playing in mostly team games or rank games where just all of them have to be enabled to play ranked. But I think if you want to turn it off, and you want to turn it off also for the Squirrel Clan. I don't know how to feel about that, but I don't really use it, therefore I can't really complain because, let's be honest, I don't really care. Usually all wins are turned on when I play. No other clan can befriend any neutral faction which has become your ally with rumor mongering. This faction gains 20% defense against all your enemies. It also becomes more aggressive towards them. This also affects Jotnas. I always wanted to try out if I could actually. This is a lore, rumor mongering, I just realized. I never saw in Giant just attacking opponent just out of free will, but I never tried it out. But I want to see it. I really want to see it. So try. If neutral factions are friended and you have rumor mongering, they will attack as soon as possible. Okay, we gotta try that out. Just befriend some giants with the Clan of the Squirrel and see what happens, right? Economics is also a lore, tier 2 lore in the lower tree. You will get tier 1 lore, sorry. You gain +4 crowns during meals, and all meals gain +2 happiness. Only the happiness bonus is shared with other clans. Okay, yeah, that were really strong, giving that over to all the other clans, the +4 crown production, and I think that made the Squirrel clan a little bit overpowered. Your units gain cloaked within these factions' territory. Ah, so you actually get invisible. Just to give you a little bit of a bonus there for taking away the +4 crowns, I think. Have a little bit of an evener again. And then you have the relic, Yggdrasil's root. The chance of being disturbed are reduced. Okay, I think that actually got a little bit too strong. I didn't use the relic all too much because I didn't want to take the gamble in ranked games. But it seems to have actually been a little bit too strong. So yeah, we have the explanation down below. In some cases we saw the discord effect of the Eldritch Zones turning enemy units against one another was too efficient. Could have imagined that. So we reduced its defensive power slightly. So let's see how it works out right now with a little bit of a debuff here. Interesting, definitely. With that, we're gonna jump to the Clan of the Lynx. The Clan of the Lynx was always intended to have a strong early game, but was excessively powerful in this case. We have the Fame 500 of Sikera, now has a cast time of 1.5 seconds, and the spirits disappear 10% faster to get it a little bit lower, you know, with the power level. The trap definitely had its problems. Can see a free-fall game of me winning there, basically just by the overpoweredness of the trap over here. The trap no longer triggers the instant the player clicks on the skill. Very good. It triggers in 2 steps. First, the trap appears on the area with no effect. Then after 3 seconds, the trap inflicts damage. So you have a little bit more time to actually pull out of the tile, which is definitely hurtful. Like, if you want to see how you could exploit that before, just check out the free fall game where I played the Lynx not too long ago. You can see how broken that actually ends up being. I have literally a fly sitting down on the camera. I don't know. Yeah. So, next change were to Sharp Eyes. This is a change to the hunting board bonus, basically. Hunting trophy abilities you could get. You can now use Lynx with Sharp Eyes like scouts. So I guess they will just not have a... Before they had a 3-minute or 4-minute cooldown, and if you sent them to a tile, they could instantly scout it. Now I think you can just let them run around and scout every tile one by one and have no cooldown. So basically just work like a scout. Don't think that's too bad, because yeah, then you have something to do for your cats in the moment you are not clearing. And it doesn't go like instantly, because that sometimes also we're a little bit overpowered. Let's see, like you go really early for your opponent, you scout the tile of him in an instant with the cat, so you don't really has time to react. He never saw a scout. You're attacking that tile, and as soon as you got that tile taken away from your opponent, you could already scout the next tile, which so early into the game oftentimes already were the main tile. So I see why they needed to change there a little bit. And yeah, double arrows got a little bit nerfed. Now only 20% on the second arrow instead of 30%. Double arrows were just insane. So yeah, definitely down that they also changed that a little bit. They were really, really strong, and yeah, pretty nice, I guess. So, Ox Clan. The Ox is a late game clan, but it was a bit tame, bit off the curve compared to the other clans. Too weak in the early game and too strong in the late game. We increased the early game power and reduced the late game power. That makes a lot of sense, I guess. So Thorfinn only has 14 attack now instead of 15. Thorfinn's throne now produces +2 lore when Thorfinn is not summoned, so it can actually be kind of a strategy to not get Thorfinn that early to have this lore production going. And military units produce military XP with military training. This is one of the... the lore? The lore? No, that is the 200 bonus, isn't it? 200 fame, you get military training. Military units produce military XP. Ah, no, this is now the lore. 222. That were the lore that gives you, reduces the upgrade cost for your camps to minus 50%. It's now only minus 30% to get a bit of the late game power away. And your military units produce military XP now on top of that. So that's really good. I think I like that quite a bit. We have a lot more lore production now passively. Also, the ferocious charge got changed. So warriors only get 30% bonus damage on their first charge attack. And that were also one of the reasons why Ox Clan were so overpowered in the late game. Because if you had like... let's just say it like that. Let's ignore that Ox units are usually a little bit more beefy than other units. Let's just say you have 10 Ox units, you have 10 units of Wolf. And you go against each other. The Ox units have ferocious charge. They get 15% damage, bonus damage on your first attack. So bam, the groups hit each other, and instantly the Ox has only 9 units because the Wolf managed to kill 1 warrior. But the Wolf only has 6 units because the Ox just killed so many units with their charge bonus. Yeah, good change right there. And I feel like that's gonna bring the Ox a little bit more down in the late game. I hope that the lore bonus will be enough to get them a little bit better into the early game. But I think it should really help out because Ox could really use a little bit of bonus lore there. And +2 lore permanently is really helpful. I wouldn't underestimate that. Here we are with dogs. Now we jump in with the Clan of the Kraken. You see, I'm going a little bit quicker through here than usually, but we have a lot to go through, and I really don't want to bore you with talking too much, so we're gonna be a little bit faster on pace here than on the other patch note reviews. The Clan of the Kraken was too map generation dependent, and we wanted to give it more control. It's true. We're very, very, very dependent, and therefore not really played in higher level games. The starting bonuses, your fresh fish tag is removed and has become a starting bonus. So you always have plus 20% fisherman production. That's poggers. The Valkyrie units now give you plus 1 happiness and they regenerate health while near a Hogger. That seems really cool, honestly. Knowledge from beyond, trade routes to other with neutral factions, plus 20% car. Ah, only with neutral faction. Okay. Okay, no lore anymore. Well, that's sad, but that's how it is. I think it didn't get used that much anymore, right? Foresight replaces medicine. Colonization. Ah, okay, I get it. Ah, but Colo is so much stronger. They didn't really use it that much. Like, Foresight were replacing medicine, that's true, and now it is replacing colonization. I think that's okay, right? A bit of a change there. Comes a little bit earlier into play. But I still don't really know what to think about this, because I really like Colo, man, and Colo is gone now, but you have Foresight a little bit earlier, which is worth a lot, and you don't have fresh fish anymore, right? I think fresh fish were replacing colonization anyway. Or were the eradication? I'm not too sure, man. Not really sure what to think about this. Let's see. Valhalla's reinforcement replaces legendary hero. You will have 1 Valkyrie at your town hall, and you can control plus 1 Valkyrie. Valkyries also regenerate health on high tides and outside combat. Passive regeneration increases by 100. That's strong. That's strong. Okay, interesting. And they will give you happiness. Holy moly. Word, high tides now makes fish appear in lakes if there are none. Interesting. That definitely is pretty interesting. And we have the Army of the Dead. No more happiness penalty when spectral warriors are in your territory. That opens doors for some interesting things. It is very, 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 very situational. But I think at some situations that could actually really help you. Interesting change. Let's see how the Kraken clan now plays itself after all these changes. But having 2 Valkyries that produce happiness for you and heal themselves generally seem pretty strong. Maybe it actually ends up as one of the clearing clans here, like late clear, right? But you can really help out, especially if you have like a wolf in your team who you can help out with tanking for him. Seems pretty strong. So, Clan of the Horse. We've heard that 200 Fame Craftsmen became less impactful, so we buffed it. So 10% production bonus now as soon as you hit it. And selling stone, I think this is basically the same as before, but you get 10% production bonus right now. I'm still one of the people who definitely gets the upgrades pretty early. Like I go for iron before I go for stone and get at least 2 upgrades before I actually start going for stone. So I feel like for me personally that's a pretty good buff. I don't know how many players are actually still doing that and are going for stone first, but that might change some players' minds and actually get them back to go for iron first again. We'll see. Clan of the Dragon. The relic was weak, we improved it. That is true. That is very true. The zombie has move speed increased, very, very important, and it costs a lot less. This is also pretty important. I hope, like, you can still, I guess it will still be a little bit too slow, like I didn't see it at all, right? I think you are still able to bait it with axes without even having seen it, because axes are just very versatile for that. But if it now costs a little bit less, it could maybe be worth it to just be a meat shield, you know? Just like you now have a few warriors or something running into the axes, and as soon as the axes killed their target, they're gonna target the thing that is closest to him. So imagine having a big ball of dragonsons running through. You have like the axe throwers around the dragonsons trying to kill them down. And you just micro your giant right in the middle of the axis. So your opponent always needs to single micro the axis, otherwise they will attack the giant and a lot of DPS will get lost in the massive health pool and resistance that the giant has. Maybe something that could get interesting then. But I still don't know if it's something that you're really gonna rush for and that's just gonna be super impactful, but it definitely has a better chance right now. It's gonna be interesting. Let's see. Definitely gonna try that out. So, the Snake clan is complicated to balance, indeed, and they definitely are. We are reinforcing skirmishers to encourage some early game interactions. So skirmishers get a 10% dodge. The way of dodge is effective. Okay, has been overhauled. So yeah, we're gonna check that out in game and see how that actually works. Black market. Trading with neutral factions no longer reduces relations with them. I guess that's pretty good. And Gungir, all military units dodge plus 10%. Stealth is still around. And stealth... okay. Can't be attacked by watchtowers until they actually attack it. This is super good. You can now do the whole fight, like clear everything out, make sure everyone's dead, and at this moment you go for the tower. When you're really sure that you're... Yeah, that seems to be interesting. Maybe this relic gets a little bit more... like there's more use for it. Like the home stretch for the snake is still, we just go, right? We just go 801, go. Send the skirmishers in. Let's do some party. But in general, that seems pretty nice. Maybe that's something that's gonna get used by more players here. Still have quite a few clans to go, man. Crazy. A lot of changes here. I like it. A majority of complaints with the clan for this clan were about the weak Gillenbursty relic. Pay food to get food. We changed it and gave a bit of control over the giant boar. So trade routes with neutral factions give you plus 20% crowns and plus 1 relations per trade route. Did anything change here? Isn't that just like normal? Please write down in the comments if you think something changed here. I don't know. Osmosis replaces negotiation. Makes sense, so you can still buff your trading in combination with that. That's interesting. And Relic Master of Gillenbursty. Here's the big change. Plus 10 food, even if the giant boar is not summoned. Okay. Pay 200 food. Pay 200 lore to summon one non-controllable giant boar. The boar is not controllable while in combat, so you cannot micro it. But you can tell him to not run over to the... that's interesting. He might actually be quite interesting. As soon as you're in combat, you can't change anything anymore. But afterwards, you can't control him. I would find it interesting. Like, if I micro him out, the opponent just runs out of my tile, you know? My boar, I send him towards my main tile. But if my opponent now dances into the tile, will the boar just change direction and run back to the opponent? Or will my click be registered and he's gonna run to the main tile and then be safe there? We're gonna check that out. That's a lot more interesting right now. And yeah, definitely we'll see more relics yet again. Because the boar relic in general pretty strong, and plus 10 food is okay. Pretty okay. You don't need the boar anymore. So, Clay of the Bear. Relic was a bit too strong, so we've changed it the way it works to avoid the perma-freeze. Yeah, makes sense. I guess that's mostly for the PCs of a lot of players, right? Relic of Scabbard of Gram. Your war chief wields the sword Gram. Enemies hit by Gram are frozen along with the area around them. Gives plus 10% attack, plus 10% defense to the shieldmate. Apply Chilling Aura. Freezes the enemies and hit adjacent to and apply penalties. Minus 15% attack, minus 15% move speed. The effect lasts 2 seconds and we have a cooldown of 5 seconds then afterwards. Yeah, seems interesting. We don't have a perma-freeze on the units anymore. Let's see. There were a lot of changes already applied to the Clan of the Bear and this relic, and let's see if this one actually hit it, because it usually always stood strong and was still a really strong relic. So let's see if this turned it down a little bit, and it's not as worth anymore to just like straight up rush it and try to get it. And even if you have almost no army, it's still worth it because you got that relic. Let's see. When on the tile with lake fishes, neutral ally territory, Kaya regenerates health and produces +2 food. Ooh. Well, 2 food aren't too bad. I guess a little bit of a bonus from the bear in a farm tile is trying to make the math here. Should be a tiny bit more since you get 15%, and if you have farmers on a tile that give you 20 food, and you get 15% more, that's more than 2 food. So it's a pretty cool bonus, especially for the early game. It can really help you out. But neutral territory, yeah, that can really help you out. Seems to be quite interesting and should buff the early game for the bear a little bit more. I like that. So now we're going to a clan where my heart breaks a little bit, because one of my favorite bonuses in Northgard got changed, but hey, that's how it is. Clan of the Stack, very strong in rush builds, good everywhere with a strong economy. Clan of the Stack was more powerful than all the other clans in Northgard. We have value of great deeds is basically how it were in the last patch, right? You get 1.5 for the skulls, yeah, and 50% less forge time, +2 if you upgrade the skulls. Sorry, forgot about that. Food preservation gives you now only half happiness instead of 1, and 1 happiness if you upgrade it. And yeah, it hurts. I always loved those bonus for the Clan of the Stack. That's a lot weaker now. We're gonna see how the stack later on, like where it ends up. I can't imagine that it's gonna be all too bad, but this were one of the bonuses which were definitely super strong. It's super fun to get, but I can imagine why it were a little bit too strong. Why it were hard to balance around this kind of bonus, especially for rush builds. But I think the rush potential of the stack should be... I don't want to say it's gone, but I don't see where it is. I don't know what there is, what other clans couldn't do better than the stack clan. So stack definitely goes a little bit more towards the route to be an eco clan, less efficient in rushes, even though we didn't see a lot of rushes for stack clan anyway, to be honest. But yeah, that definitely hit it quite a bit. Hurts a little bit to not have that bonus anymore. Always were a big fan of it, but I can imagine why it were a problem to balance around it. Sad story, I guess. Yeah, Clan of the Raven. The Clan of the Raven is very dependent on beach tiles and thus map generation. We've tried to give the clan more control by reducing this dependence. We have also redesigned Mercenaries to make them more central to the clan identity and rebalance their impact, which was too strong against beginner and too weak against experienced players. So Negotiators now replaces shipbuilding instead of mining efficiency. Okay, you get mining efficiency as Raven, that's great. You unlock the Lighthouse, you get +2 crowns production and 10% commercial influence, and your sailors gain a resource production bonus by 20%. In my opinion, this is a pretty necessary lore if you play Raven, and you now have sailors on there, so we tried to give the clan by reducing this dependence. What I mean, right? This lore needs to be taken, right? Like you gain +2 crowns. That is a really strong lore, and you get sailors, so you will go sailors, right? But I think you can't completely cut the ropes there, because also you want to focus on mercenaries. So a Raven will always need coasts. I don't think there's always a way. There's a way where you kind of go away from that. Besides, you completely redesign the clan. So. At 200 fame, you can now call mercenaries from homeland. You can hire mercenaries from your harbor and send them to raid coastal areas without a town hall on it. Allowed to trade with your homeland at better rates. Upgrade for your rates are available at the forge. Interesting. And you don't get the villagers anymore. Okay. At 500, you will get sea supremacy. You can send your mercenaries to coastal zones with a town hall. More upgrades for your raids are available at the forge. You can assign 3 more sailors in your harbor with a lighthouse. Ah. Can assign 3 more. That's 6 sailors. Okay, that makes sense. It makes the generation a little bit. Okay, that counteracts a little bit against the generation. When you can have 6 sailors in only 1 dock. Still need a second one though to really make it work. But hey, 6 sailors, this is already very, very, very doable. But you need to reach 500 with it. If you only have 1 coast, for example, I hope that never happens to a Raven still. It will take a while until you actually reach 500 fame and you can have 6 sailors again. So let's see. New upgrades are available in the Forge. At 200 fame, you can add more mercenaries. Adds 2 mercenaries to the raid. I think the first one will only be 2 mercs. Okay, you get it at 200 fame though, so it can really hit. And better preparation. Reduce the time it takes to recruit by 1 month. Okay, it goes a little bit quicker then. Interesting. And upgrades are available at the Forge at 500. You can upgrade your mercenaries at the Forge. Up to 3 times for 2 more mercenaries per raid at a maximum of 8 mercenaries per raid. Okay. Better preparation reduces the time to make it pros by 15 seconds. Okay. Just a little bit more. And fire javelins. The mercenaries fleet throws fire javelins that damage and burn the zone's building. Okay. Well, that's cool. Like the boat comes in, they shoot a few javelins, and okay, that seems interesting. I could imagine the mercenaries getting a little bit more annoying also in higher level games. And lower level games, I think you can't really turn it off, right? If a player isn't ready for getting attacked in the early stages of the game, he will never be really ready. So yeah, I guess it's really hard to balance against that. But that seems like they could get pretty strong in the late game, even though that seems like you need to put a lot in there. Also, mercenaries got nerfed a little bit. They also got 8 attack power instead of 10. And yeah, with the tool upgrade for the mercenaries, you give them 30% more attack power. Would then end at 11 or 12 or something, right? I guess 11, somewhere around 11. Makes them a little bit stronger than they are now by default. But they are pretty strong right now by default. They can kill a lot of villagers. Interesting rework. Definitely gotta have a look into it. And lots of changes for the goat. We want to give him back his identity. So goat units get minus 20% military experience. Don't know. Okay. Not the most aggressive clan, I guess. Keeping in mind what Halvard always says around the campaign. They don't really thrive in war. At 500 fame, you get 1 free feast per year. Your defense towers gain 25% resistance when feasting. Interesting. Amenities, 50% less to develop a zone. Periodically, a sheepfold containing 2 sheep makes a new sheep appear. Okay. That's interesting. Industrious, upgraded. Okay. Have 4 slots instead of 3. Nobody will use it because you still have sheep. So this is the one miss lore for a goat, I think. Like, what do you need food producing buildings? Oh, and breweries. Okay. No. But you get sheep. This doesn't, nobody cares about that. I don't know. Maybe I'm seeing that wrong. Barricades is removed. Okay. Could be really strong in late game when you have a lot of builds, so that's okay in my opinion. Wool trade replaces erudition. Sheep in sheepfold earn gold. Sheep can be sacrificed for 40 crowns. But only if you're a goat, so. Seems good though, seems interesting, especially if you have new sheeps appearing every here and there, like through amenities. Could get cool. Fun to play around with it. Let's see how that actually works out. And yeah, food trade got changed. I think this remains unchanged, but this is new. The plus 50% relationship with the Jotun. Sorry, I think that weren't in there before, but now it is. Pretty interesting. Yeah. Also quite a rework here. Let's see how that actually will work out with the clan of the goat there. Now we have the clan of the wolf. This got changed back to the old, like it were plus 75 if you have a berserker. Now it's a little bit better again. Plus 100% if in the same tile as the berserker is completely gone. Okay, that's good, that's good. And after your Berserker died, you get minus 50% crowns and no iron cost to recruit him again. So if you need to recruit him the first time, it's still for full cost, but as soon as you lost them, it's gonna be a lot cheaper, which is super important for the players that play Veiled Threats, because if you played Veiled Threats, you lost your Zerker, you lost the game at that time. Like, it takes so long to take the Zerker back, and at the point your Zerker gets back, your gold eco is actually at the point it were before. So at this point you're starting to recover. So 3 months after you lost, that's where you are dead at this point. Now got changed back, and yeah. Not got changed back. Now you pay a little bit less. You don't pay iron, which is super important. Veiled Threats will most likely get a little bit more viable, but we see, because Mid-Tree Wolf is also really strong. So we are at the general changes. Mining efficiency got nerfed. Makes sense. We're insanely strong. Every clan who didn't have it felt depressing. Now it's going to be a little bit less. Wyvern projectiles. Impact is still reduced by projectile resistance and can be dodged. Oh, it could be 4. Yeah, I just realized. Wyvern projectiles make splash damage that can't be avoided or dodged. Okay. Every target damaged by splash damage becomes burned and suffers from burn damage over time. Yeah. Wounded units. Oh, that's an interesting change, I just realized. Wounded units suffers 20% protection penalty. Surprise. A unit is wounded only if it goes under 75%. Thanks. Thanks, developers of Shiro. Gold rank pretty soon, because I managed to get every villager down to 90%, but none of us under 75. So yeah. That will get a little bit different meta here. You can get a lot of villagers low, as long as they're not under 75%. They don't count as wounded, so interesting. A unit stays wounded until it reaches 100% again, though. So if you go out to 75, you need to go back to 100. 74% life, you need to go back to the 100. It's not going to be enough to go to 75. And adding a white bar to the health bar to see when your units will be wounded. Okay. That's interesting. So you can already see when it slowly gets lower, when the point is actually reached where it counts as wounded. So, neutral factions, the conditions and the turnover that allow Murkalfar attacks are reworked to make them more regular and more fair. That's really good. Relationships increase time, no longer scales with team size. Okay. And Murkalfar and Kobold no longer spawn indefinitely. Okay. Yeah, good. So Wolf can't really, like, perma-feed off the Tal, I guess. Jotnans. Eradicating the Jotnans gives only 100 fame. A little bit of a change. I don't think that much, because for most... fame is important. Fame is really important, but also the military experience to get out of it. So, yeah. I think the players will still fight over giants. The AI is improved. Less war chiefs and army suicides. That's really great. And we corrected the bug that makes war chiefs abnormally recruited too soon. Yeah, that sometimes happens. Yeah, hard to stay behind. Ported longship dock, quality of life. When assigning a sailor to the raids, the raid starts directly. Okay, lore selected by default. I like that. So you don't need to always watch out to also start the raid. Happened here and there for me. I guess for newer players that will be actually like way more often. It makes it less annoying, I guess. Helpful. So Monster Slayer for every clan got changed. Plus 10% attack power against Dragonkin. So a little bit of a dragon buff, I guess. 30% against other mystical creatures. And plus 50% experience for mystical creatures. So that's pretty cool. And now only plus 10% versus Dragonkin, which is very important for the dragon to not be dead after somebody takes Monster Slayer. Expeditions, you can now claim reward for your completed achievements. I did. I had a bunch. I have so much silver, man. Guys, if somebody needs silver, want to trade against V-Bucks, we can totally do that. Yeah, you will. If you have a lot of achievements, you will have a lot of silver now. Added the V-Meal Scroll Victory condition for scripting to disable the scroll victory. Okay. Makes sense. If you really need that for like one mission that you do in the mod area, that is really interesting. Yeah, I think that's cool. And important, I guess. Town Hall can now be hit by Mjolnir and fire javelins, and it can burn. It is now possible to copy paste in the text zones. It weren't possible before for such a long time. I love that it's not possible. It's pretty cool. We also had changes to the minimap, new buttons to filter icons. So you can now filter food, lore, wood, not wood, stone or iron, and whatever. You can just turn it off here by a few new buttons you have around. I think that's really cool and important. And the build menu, add a little icon to show which resources are mainly produced by each building. Okay. So you have a little bit of an overview right here. For example, for the Bear Clan, the camps will also give you happiness if you have Protector of the Land, but it will not show it. It will just show you the main resource. So I think very important as you get into the game. The more you get into it, of course, less important. But I think very cool for new players. And the weekly completion reset time now remains visible even if you completed all the weekly quests, weekly expeditions. So yeah, also pretty cool. We also have new map options. We have the alternate team spawn. Same teams are scattered across the map, so you don't have team against team, so you have people just going around, but they're fighting for the same team. Interesting for community games, I think. And we got 3 teams, can be combined with balanced games, alternate team spawn and ranked games. Players can freely build teams, so you basically could have a 2v4 or a 1v5. Really cool. We're asked for quite a few times already, and I think pretty cool that's possible for everyone to try out. So, we have new skins, guys. We have new skins. Finally, we got a Signy skill. Ceremonial and brutal. We have skins for the Valkyrie right here. We also have another Valkyrie skin. I don't know if it's shown right here. There's definitely still another one. And Norns also have skins. Also have another skin. So both of them have 2. We have the Dragonkin for man and women. And we have also Dragonkin Brutal and man and women. So always in 2 different versions. Yeah, really cool. Really like that they also go down the path to give Norns different skins. I can already see that. Skulls might get some at some point. Maybe you can even get your fishes different skins. I don't have anything against that. Like, you can get all that stuff in game, and even if you needed to pay for it, like if there would be some skins that you need to pay actual money for, I wouldn't hate it, to be honest. Well, I think it's really cool, to be honest, that you now can just get everything in game, because you don't have that often in games these days anymore, right? That you could actually, with gameplay, get your skins. It's pretty cool, honestly. What's anything against that? Well, I would be the last who is really complaining if there would be some Dragonkin skin for €3, which you can get if you want, but it's not gonna change your game if you do it, right? So yeah, I think it's cool. So we also have a bunch of bug fixes. I think we are not going over every single one of these because there are quite a few. The video is already going for over 40 minutes. So yeah, if you want to read them, you can read them right here. Mostly it is just stuff that is, of course, pretty important. Can be pretty annoying to have that, but I don't think it's worth for us to cover it right here. I, however, hope that you all enjoyed the video. If you did so, you might want to consider to leave a like below the video or a subscription on the channel. I know that over 80% of the people who are watching these videos are not subscribed to the channel, so it would be really nice if you could do so. It's super helpful for the channel. Like it always seems like likes and subscribers, it's like one thing of the past, but it really still helps you out as a creator, and I'm not really getting all too annoying with it, but that's, I guess, also the reason why I have 80% of the people not subscribed to me. So it would be really nice if you could do so. If not, also not too big of a problem, of course. I'm glad that a lot of you are enjoying the videos, and yeah, I couldn't ask for more. So yeah, thanks everyone for dropping by here. Hope you all have a great rest of the day. Maybe jump into Northgard, check out the new balance patch. It seems to be really interesting, and I hope to see you back in the next video. Bye bye everyone. See ya.